Aiemann, other side, right here.
Yep. Hey,
What's
what's
up,
up,
man?
bro?
How are you? I've been asking everyone this. I guess just how's this experience just been for you on the build-up? Because it's one thing to get announced and then go through camp, but to actually be here and be part of this one-of-one events, all the media that you have to do, and just everything. How's everything been for you on your side?
It's been great. The 16-year-old me, he knew we'd make it here, and I dreamed of this. So why would I complain with my duties now? You know what I mean? I feel like it's part of it all. It's part about getting my name out there. I won my 7 fights. Kind of quiet in the background and didn't get much media attention. I've been telling everybody I felt like Clubber Lang. Doing my work in the background, winning my fights, and nobody knows about me. And boom, all of a sudden I'm here. I'm at the White House. And everyone's like, "Who is this guy? What is he doing here?" But there's quite a story, and I just released a documentary on YouTube. If you guys want to know how I got here, it'd be cool if you guys watched it.
And it's one thing to fight on the White House. It's another thing to be fighting Sean O'Malley on the White House. He brings another audience entirely that maybe only watches fights when he fights, maybe not just MMA as a whole. So I guess is that in the back of your mind too, that you get his audience too, essentially?
Yeah, I get exposed to his audience and people now who've probably never even seen the UFC or MMA before, being at the White House. It's nice fighting these big names because you get a lot more eyeballs. My experience with Jose Aldo was wild. The build up to fighting Jose Aldo, like even my mom called me. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're fighting Jose Aldo. I love Jose." She's been watching him for 20 years. He's been on top for a long time, that guy. And a lot of people in Montreal were like, "Oh, listen, we're supporting you, but please don't hurt him too bad." And then you see the guy tries to kick my head off. It was pretty funny, very interesting. I got a lot of death threats too during the buildup of that fight. Jose had a lot of hardcore fans, and people didn't even want me to make it to the octagon. It was very awkward. But Sean's fans have been generally much nicer. 0 death threats, which is cool. People making fun of me is okay. I feel like that's cool, but the death threats was wild, But he's been on top for a long time, Aldo. So it is what it is.
And to go off of that, you got through Aldo's striking, you got through Cheeto. I guess what does Sean present that you haven't faced in your last couple of fights?
A different type of striking problem. I feel like Aldo was the boogeyman. He's the fastest striker I've ever faced. His speed is incredible, and he throws at everything he has. He has an immense amount of power in his strikes. Cheeto has crazy power also. He has the most knockdowns in bantamweight UFC history. Sean, I don't think his power is based on like one-shot kill power, where like he walks up to you and he hits you on the head like Aldo and Cheeto. He has more like timing and counter striking. Like if you fall into a gap and he hits you when you don't expect it, he'll put you down, he'll put you out. He's fast, but I don't think he's as fast as Aldo. He doesn't have that blinding speed, but he's got good footwork. I think footwork is his best skill set. I think he moves around the ring really well. He hits and then tries not to get hit back. And but I think I have the better striking. I feel like people are going to be surprised. Just because my striking is not as traditional doesn't mean it's not as good. I feel like mine is very unconventional, awkward, and it presents unique problems, which is much harder to imitate in the training room. And we'll see if I can cause a lot of problems for him and win the striking. I think I'm a better grappler and a better wrestler than him too. I've been a black belt since 2017, and I've wrestled for a long time. And if there's an opportunity there, I'll take him down. If not, I'm going to keep it striking the whole time.
And to go off of that, I've watched a couple of your interviews, and you keep saying like pressure on Sean, but you said Sean's very good at counter striking. So I guess how do you combat that while also implementing the game plan that we don't know your game plan, but saying pressure. I guess how do you combat that counter striking while implementing?
Well, I don't want to give too many details, but there's a way to put pressure without falling into any gaps, and it's all about approach. Like I was telling people before, everybody knew when Sean and Merab were fighting the first time, Merab was going to shoot, and he took him down every round. And when they had the rematch, everyone knew for certain Merab was going to shoot. There was no doubt Merab was going to shoot, and he still took him down, even though Sean knew, even though his coaches knew, we all knew, the whole world knew. I don't think it's about knowing. I think it's about understanding the approach and executing, right? So, people have to change their approaches and change how they execute in the fight. And I'm expecting that round 1 won't look like round 2 against Somali, and round 3 won't look like round 2. So I'm looking to adapt throughout the entire fight. As the fight goes, I'm going to be adapt. Mayweather said it best: the best champions adapt to anything.
Just a couple more from me. You and your brother and the TriStar team are very good at game planning and kind of coming up with all the like anything that could happen could happen. How do you prepare for fighting outside? You know, the elements, the sun, the bugs everyone keeps talking about. Like, how can you prep for that?
Yeah. Well, I've been training at TriStar since I'm 13, so a little over 20 years. This year's the first year we had air conditioning in the gym, which was a nice little plus. It's just as humid, if not more humid in Montreal than in DC. So I've never had a summer without humidity in the gym. So I've been getting ready for it for a long time. And then I came out here 2 weeks early. I came out May 31st, and I've been training outside every evening. One thing that's interesting about DC is it gets more humid in the evening. So just been training outside and getting used to the air out here and seeing the sights and walking around the White House and just getting used to it all.
And just last one for me. Do you think with a win on Sunday, is this the biggest win for Canada since GSP beat Bisping?
I mean, I still think the biggest win is against Aldo. I mean, Aldo is one of the greatest of all time. And, he missed weight by 8 pounds. I beat him at featherweight when I made 136.8. I feel like the other featherweights that beat him, they didn't make 136. And I thought, he's less durable when he made the weight at 135. So the other bantamweights beat him when he was, not as durable, right? So I feel like that's my biggest win. And this would be a huge win for me because it leads me to the title. But beating one of the GOATs is, probably the most memorable moment of my life. And we'll see how it turns out. I got to make Sunday great. For now, it's not the best moment of my life because it didn't happen yet. It can also be the worst moment of my life on Sunday. If there's always banana peels in there. It might be raining. It might be slippery. I don't know what we're going to see. But I'm living by this quote where whatever is meant for me will never miss me, and whatever misses me was never meant for me. So we'll see how it goes on Sunday.
Good luck.
Aiemann, right over here. Aiemann, what's something you've learned about the business as a broadcaster that you think you never would have learned if you had just remained only a fighter?
Oh, man, the broadcasters have it really nice. I mean, the media, the broadcasting, like when I do it, I can't believe, like, every time you're going to interview fighters, there's coffee, there's snacks, you go, there's a green room for you guys.
It's great, isn't it?
It's great, So sometimes I find it funny how much, the media razzes the UFC and, they complain a lot about how the UFC does things and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's I can't wait. One day I'm going to retire and I'll be on the other side, and then it's going to be a nice, cushy retirement for me.
What's a story you can tell us about your brother being tougher on you as your coach than he was maybe on some of the other athletes to show he wasn't just playing favorites?
Oh, my brother was tough on everybody for sure. My brother's a hard guy, very tough dude, and he has a high standard for the whole team. But one thing that's interesting with me is that when I'm sparring, every time I get hit, he's like, "You got hit with a cross. You got hit with a hook. You got hit with a hook." And like in practice, getting hit even one time is like a thing, So I feel it in the practice, but it's only so that I can be perfect on fight night, so that there's less chance for error. And I appreciate the high standards he puts on me, and that's what got me here. Without him lifting the bar very high for me in the practice room, I wouldn't be able to perform at the White House.
Nice, easy, fun one. If you were the president, would you want your birthday to be a national holiday, or would you want your face on one of the coins?
If I had to pick one of those two?
Yeah.
Face on the coin, I guess it lasts longer. Lasts forever. Yeah, face on the coin.
Good luck.
Amen. Bonjour, en français, Louis de Radio-Canada. Évidemment, le président américain n'est pas nécessairement l'homme le plus populaire en ce moment au Canada. Savoir, est-ce que vous avez ressenti un malaise? Est-ce que vous avez hésité de venir vous battre à la Maison-Blanche comme ça? Comment vous approchez ça?
Non, j'essaie de garder les politiques à côté. Écoute, mes parents, ils ont parti du Liban durant la guerre civile là-bas. Et le Canada leur donnait une place à vivre et donnait une meilleure chance pour leurs enfants. Et je suis fier de ça. Et je représente le Canada à la Maison-Blanche. L'édifice le plus important des États-Unis. Puis ils ont mis un Canadien dessus. Et je suis un Canadien d'origine libanaise. Et je suis un Canadien qui est musulman aussi. Donc, l'UFC, ils ne sont pas des personnes qui sont racistes. Je trouve pas que, j'ai rien ressenti comme t'es Canadien, t'es Libanais, t'es musulman, écoute, on va te garder sur le côté. Non, j'étais comme le reste des gars.
Est-ce que vous ressentez une pression supplémentaire de savoir que vous battez contre un Américain? On sait qu'il y a des tensions un peu entre les deux pays en ce moment. Je peux penser par exemple aux hockeyeurs d'équipe Canada qui étaient sur la glace contre les Américains. Ouais. Ils ressentent cette pression-là. Est-ce que vous la ressentez?
Oui, cette pression-là, je la sens un peu. C'est une drôle de chose parce qu'on a perdu les hommes et les femmes en hockey. On a perdu au baseball aussi. C'est un moment difficile pour les Canadiens dans le sport. Contre les Américains, ils nous battent en tout là, en ce moment. Donc, ce serait une belle chose d'avoir une victoire dimanche à la Maison-Blanche. Je pense que ce serait la meilleure place d'avoir la victoire pour les Canadiens. Merci.
Amen over here.
Yep.
Sean O'Malley asked you on social media if you're okay with the loser tattooing the other person's country on themselves. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's haram. You're not supposed to tattoo your body in Islam. You can't get buried in the Islamic funeral homes if you get tattooed. So it's a no for me.
You don't plan on losing though, right?
I don't plan on losing either, but I wouldn't put that on the line.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just right there, Aiemann.
Yeah.
Despite your win streak and the fact that, as you said, you're more well-rounded, you're still the underdog. How do you feel in that position? Some fighters love it, some not. How do you feel?
I love it. I don't mind it. I think I was an underdog in 6 of my last 7 fights, and I won them all. I won all 7. I don't think being an underdog means anything about our skills. I feel like it's a popularity contest. Obviously, I think he's got 1 million followers. So a lot of people know him, and they were going to put money on him. He's been world champion, so it kind of makes sense. And anything worthwhile in life is an uphill battle. And I dare to be great, and I want to fight the best. If I want to fight for the belt in the UFC, I want to fight the best guys out there. And if people think he's the best, then I'm looking to beat him.
Dernière pour moi, tu parles français. Il y a beaucoup d'athlètes français qui viennent s'entraîner au Tristar aussi chez vous. Est-ce que c'est possible qu'on voit Aiemann Zahabi en France un jour combattre?
Oui, peut-être. On ne sait pas. Quand l'UFC m'appelle pour me donner un combat, la priorité, c'est qui vont me donner. Et la deuxième chose, c'est la place. Donc, il y a toujours des chances.
And GSP will be in your corner this time?
Yeah, GSP is going to arrive on Friday, and he's going to be in the corner on Sunday.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Amen, right here.
Yep.
Earlier you said that your 16-year-old dreamed of a moment like this,
Yeah.
and all the sacrifices that you have done in your life. Now you're here at the White House against a former champion and big superstar. When you close your eyes, how do you imagine the perfect night for you on Sunday?
The perfect night would be a KO. A KO would be the best thing to happen for me, because I feel like that would really launch my career. With it being at the White House and everybody who's going to be watching around the world, KOing Sean O'Malley, would cement me fighting, for the belt against Peter Yan or Merab. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.